1 in 3 of us have cancer, and of those that recover, 1 in 3 of us don't return to work. It's costing patients their income, a sense of continuity and support. It's costing employers talented workers, and it's costing the economy, not just in healthcare but in productivity, around $1.16 trillion. With the number of people with cancer set to rise over the next 20 years, more than ever need help returning to work.
Cancer can be a really isolating illness, and people's psychological well-being can be just as important for their recovery as their physical health. On returning to work, people, although they may feel fully recovered, can often be quite stressed. They can worry about discrimination and they can worry about stigma. And whilst they might feel fully recovered, on returning to work they can sometimes feel fatigued and they can have difficulty concentrating. That's why we think it's so important for businesses and managers to support people practically with return to work. And whilst we know that businesses want to do that, often the problem is they don't know where to start.
Research from Bupa amongst breast cancer survivors found that 96% viewed work as having a positive impact on their recovery, giving them a sense of continuity and a support network, amongst other things. But only 17% had practical help from their employers, helping them to understand where they stood or rights at work. It seems most businesses are unaware of the practical steps for supporting a cancer survivor in their transition back into the workplace.
It's hard for employees and employers to talk about cancer, and it's so important to remember that everybody's return to work is unique. And what can make the difference in their experience is the sensitivity and compassion of their line manager. That's why we think a framework to make that difficult discussion easier is so important. It can help people talking about flexible hours or getting access to counselling services. So that's why with the Union for International Cancer Control, we've produced a series of guides on cancer in the workplace to make that return to work successful.
Bupa has co-created a series of guides working with cancer with the Union for International Cancer Control to help businesses turn compassionate feeling into compassionate action. Help your employees to have longer, healthier, happier lives. Download your guides from the Bupa website.